Channel 11 News, winner of 5 Emmy Awards, including Best Evening Newscast, Best Morning Newscast, Teen Coverage, and the prestigious award for Station Excellence. Channel 11 News is coverage you can count on.
When we heard about it, time seemed to stop.
A newborn baby kidnapped from the hospital. Every minute feeling like a lifetime for his frightened family.
Somebody got my baby, please, God, please return my grandson.
We were with police tracking down every lead.
And there when they put someone in cuffs. Right now, the search for baby Bryce.
Breaking news coverage starts right now.
Live, local, late breaking. Channel 11 News starts with breaking news.
Somebody got my grandson, please return my baby, God, please.
A tearful and desperate plea after a newborn baby is taken right from the hospital by a stranger wearing hospital scrubs. We've been breaking into programming all afternoon.
And we are certainly hoping that our coverage will help reunite the family with missing Bryce Coleman. We have several reporters working right now to bring you all of the angles in this story. 4 of them will be live in the next few minutes. But we begin tonight with Vince Sims, our first reporter at McGee. Vince?
Yes, we've been here live at McGee since this all went out, and when we first got here, we made it here and we saw police still swarming here to McGee Women's Hospital with their sirens and lights going as they've been searching for this missing 3-day-old little baby. Take a look. This is the picture. This is the baby they want you to see. This is the picture. I was able to talk with his grandmother, and she told me that his name is Bryce Coleman.
Very busy afternoon for police and for our crews tracking down every lead. Here is a timeline of the events today. First, 1:54. The first reports came in of the abduction. At 2:01 in the afternoon, we confirmed the news with police. Then at 2:13, we brought you the grandmother's tearful plea for help, which you just heard. At 2:29, we were at the Oakland uniform shop where police believe the scrubs were bought. You saw that just a moment ago. At 3:21, we were in Wilkinsburg as we saw somebody brought out in cuffs. Kara just had that, but this was not the suspect. We will stay on this story, of course, until we can give you a time for when the baby is found.
Now we are just getting some breaking news in on this story. We understand that the baby, the infant, has been found alive and well downtown on 4th Avenue. Police are telling us that they also have the woman, a suspect, in custody. Again, the baby found just minutes ago downtown, alive and well on 4th Avenue, and police also have a suspect in custody.
And even though baby Bryce Coleman is safe, there's still a lot of questions tonight, like, how did this happen? How did they beat the security system? And obviously, how's he doing and how is his family doing? We are at the hospital where Bryce is being checked out right now, and we're also catching up with the family.
Getting a look at the suspect there. She just was brought in to Pittsburgh Police Headquarters. This is new video now. We'll find out more about her tonight.
It was a normal morning in a quiet town.
But in an instant, the sense of security we all take for granted was taken away.
A masked man came in and just started shooting.
Well, I heard like 7 loud booms.
She heard gunshots and she heard screams on the intercom.
I saw some of the bullets going past the hall that I was right next to.
I saw 3 injured children.
Everybody was like crying.
One of them was very bloody, had a very bloody face, and then 2 other ones were carried out.
Our team coverage will take you through what happened in that Connecticut elementary school.
We'll also try to answer the important questions about school security, how to talk to our kids, and if we can ever prevent something like this. A difficult day in America as we try to understand the school shooting.
But it was when they told the parents, all these parents were waiting for their children to come out. They thought that they were, still alive. There's 20 parents that were just told that their children are dead. It was awful.
Live, local, late breaking. Channel 11 News starts with breaking news.
The sun has set on Newton, Connecticut, a day this town and none of us will ever forget. It's always difficult when you deal with tragedies involving children, and today this story is going beyond what's happening in Connecticut. Peggy, please give us the latest on the headlines.
Yeah, Darieth, you'd never think something like this could happen in a school, but once again, that is the sad reality. 28 people are dead, 27 of them at the school, 20 of those are children. The gunman is also dead. So too is his mother, believed to be a teacher there. And these are young kids. Most of the victims were in a kindergarten class. The scene of this tragedy is Newtown, Connecticut, and Sandy Hook Elementary School is about to join the likes of other schools like Columbine and Virginia Tech. We have Team 11 coverage for you as we try to understand how this occurred and what is being done to prevent something similar happening in our schools. We begin with Rick Earl and the latest details coming out of Connecticut. Rick?
Yeah, Peggy, just minutes ago, the Associated Press identified the shooter as 20-year-old Adam Lanza. Reports now indicate he may have had some mental health issues. His mother was a kindergarten teacher at that elementary school. She was killed in the shooting, along with 20 young students. And tonight, the question is why? Why would anyone target innocent children? Dramatic images as police surround a building behind the elementary school searching for the shooter. Crying school children holding hands are quickly escorted out by police.
All right, we have more breaking news, this time from Pittsburgh Police Headquarters, and that's where FBI agents have been removing documents for the last couple of hours. Target 11's Rick Earl has been there for the past couple of hours as well. And Rick, what have you learned?
Yeah, David, well, right now we want to show you some breaking news, developing news right now. You can see FBI agents right here are coming out of the police department here of the Pittsburgh Police Department. Those are FBI agents right now carrying out boxes of documents. You see them right there. These are documents that they confiscated from inside the police department. This is a live picture. You are looking at live pictures right now of FBI agents who removed documents. We understand that these documents were removed from the Special Events Department. Now, that's the department that handles secondary employment for police officers. Now, these FBI agents just removed these documents. They are loading them into a car right now. The deputy police chief here, Paul Donaldson, tells us that the FBI agents showed up this afternoon and served a subpoena on the police department here in search of records. Again, right now they are pulling these documents, putting them into this car. This is all part of an ongoing investigation into activities here at the police department. Of course, Police Chief Nate Harper has been under fire for some time. We're not sure if it's connected to that, but is there anything you can tell us, sir, about these documents?
No,
what did you seize?
I can't tell.
You can't comment at all?
No, sir.
No comment at all? Okay, there you have it. That's an FBI agent right now. They just finished the raid here at police headquarters.
5 indictments handed down. Rick Earl joins us live.
Yeah, Joe, that federal grand jury just wrapped up around noon today, and they went right into the judge's chambers after that and returned a 5-count indictment against former Pittsburgh Police Chief Nate Harper.
The investigation, which has led to these charges, is continuing.
Breaking news.
Good evening, everyone. Breaking news, a verdict in the Jerry Sandusky trial sex abuse case. Jerry Sandusky moments ago arrived at the courthouse to face the jury that will decide if he goes to jail. I'm Darieth Chisholm. Thanks for being with us tonight. Jerry Sandusky is learning his verdict right now. The jury finished 2 long days of deliberations about a half hour ago before reaching a decision tonight. Channel 11's Courtney Brennan joins us live outside of the courthouse. So, Courtney, what's happening now?
Well, Darieth, this is the moment we have all been waiting for. The entire nation is watching. After more than 12 hours of deliberations today and 8.5 hours of deliberations yesterday, we finally have a verdict in the Jerry Sandusky case. Everyone wants to know, what did the jury decide? Did they decide to go with a prosecution who categorized Jerry Sandusky as a serial predatory pedophile who preyed on children that he came into contact with through his Second Mile charity? Or will the jury decide with Jerry Sandusky's defense attorney, Joe Amendola, who categorized Jerry Sandusky as just a big kid who wanted to help other kids, and that these alleged victims are in a conspiracy together and they are out to get Jerry Sandusky and they are out to get his money? We will find that out shortly. The verdict could actually be read right now in the courtroom. We will not find out what that verdict is until the entire verdict is read and the judge adjourns court for the evening. Now, Sandusky faces 48 counts of child sexual abuse, and 26 of those are felonies. 22 are misdemeanors. If Jerry Sandusky is convicted on only a few of those felonies, he could spend the rest of his life in prison, because many of those felonies carry mandatory prison sentences of 10 to 20 years. And we all know that Sandusky is is 68 years old, so he could absolutely spend the rest of his life in prison. The most serious charges Jerry Sandusky faces are involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, unlawful contact with a minor, aggravated indecent assault, and endangering the welfare of a child. Here it is. Here it is. 45? 45 counts guilty. 45 counts? 45 counts, only 2 not guilty. Okay. Jerry Sandusky was found guilty on 45 counts. 45 counts he was found guilty, only 2 not guilty counts of indecent assault. Renee Kaminsky, who was in the courtroom, says Jerry was stunned. 45 counts, Jerry Sandusky was found guilty on 45 counts. Only 2 counts he was found not guilty on.
The big story, the downtown standoff. Tonight, the suspect is behind bars. The man he held hostage is safe. And we are digging deeper for you.
Peggy, it's a SWAT situation in the Facebook era. While the armed man kept police at bay, total strangers sent messages to him.
His Facebook page has been shut down.
Then straight out of a spy movie, Target 11 uncovers the high-tech tactics that ended this. This major story was first on 11.
And it is how we start 90 minutes of news you won't want to miss.
Live, local, late-breaking. This is Channel 11 News. News coverage you can count on.
Good evening, everyone. This is the man at the center of our big story tonight. Clyde Thaxton surrendered peacefully, ending a nearly 6-hour standoff in downtown Pittsburgh. And the hostage he's accused of holding is okay, too. We just learned that the two didn't even know one another. The hostage was a random target. More on that in a moment. Despite reports that Thaxton was armed and claimed to have planted bombs, no one was hurt in all of this. Thaxton's mother and ex-girlfriend were both allowed inside 3 Gateway Center. It was shortly after the former girlfriend went in that Thaxton surrendered. All of the evacuated workers were allowed back inside the building shortly after the suspect was taken away. David Johnson has been on this story right in the middle of it all. He is anchoring our standoff coverage from the Gateway Center area downtown tonight. David?
Peggy, good evening. You and I were on the air throughout the morning and early afternoon hours on this, and this is a much different scene behind me right now. As you know, this was all closed off. All these roads are right around the Point and Gateway Center, and the building you see right in the middle behind me, that big silver building, that is Gateway number 3. We're on the 16th floor. This all went down, and what a tense situation it was. And we have also learned much more about the suspect. I want to tell you something we just learned. We know that he was an Army veteran, but we have learned that he was an Army veteran who had mental health issues.
Shortly after 12 a.m. this morning, the FBI Miami located Conius and arrested him without incident. Conius fled the city of Pittsburgh and hid money on a gravesite and at his parents' residence in Johannesburg, Pennsylvania, both of which were subsequently recovered by the FBI Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police. This amount totaled over $250,000. Conius then drove to Miami. He encountered several individuals in South Florida who he confided in regarding his criminal activity. He admitted his identity, and he was cooperative when he was arrested.
Ken Conius is behind bars tonight in Florida, but today we learned police may be looking for a woman connected to the armored car suspect, and she might have a large amount of cash with her. Plus, Ken Conius might have been headed somewhere when he was caught. Target 11's Rick Earl in Florida digging deeper into this investigation and what Pittsburgh police are doing right now.
Investigators from Pittsburgh are expected to arrive here in Florida any minute now. They are coming here to talk to Ken Conius and to interview any other people who may have had contact with him during the past 2 months. Conius, meanwhile, is being held without bond in the Broward County Jail. We went to see him today, but he wasn't allowed to have any visitors. We also learned that investigators believe Conius had been in Florida since fleeing Pittsburgh 2 months ago. He was taken into custody early Tuesday morning at a house in Pompano Beach where he had been renting a room for about 2 weeks. Prior to that, investigators believe he had been hiding out in a Haitian community just north of Fort Lauderdale. My law enforcement sources tell me investigators are now searching for one of 2 women Conius had been seeing here in Florida. They suspect one of them took off with $99,000 of the stolen money. A woman who rented Conius the room told me she had no idea he was wanted for murder. I also asked her about the missing money.
Yeah, where was the money?
Did he have some here and some at a storage facility? What happened?
We're unsure of that.
Some of the stolen cash was found in that room he rented. More was found in a nearby storage facility. In all, police have recovered more than $1 million, but they are still searching for another missing million. In Pompano Beach, Florida, Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
And more coverage of this big story. We're tracking the missing money in this case, and there's still plenty of it unaccounted for. Conius is accused of taking $2.3 million. As much as $1.5 million of it has been recovered in Florida. $275,000 was discovered at his parents' home and his grandmother's gravesite. And now we've learned $99,000 may be with the woman police are searching for. That leaves about $425,000 still missing. Stay with Channel 11 for continuing coverage of this big story. For coverage anytime, you can go to our website at WPXI.com. There you will find raw video and reports from Target 11's Rick Earl.
Investigators from Pittsburgh made their very first trip here to the home where Ken Conius was arrested earlier this week. And our camera was rolling when police moved in. This is exclusive video of police surrounding the house in Pompano Beach Thursday afternoon. The raid is going down right now. Investigators just arrived here a second ago. You see them standing at the door right now. For more than 2 hours, police searched the home, questioned the residents about Ken Conius, where he had been hiding, who had been helping him. Among those who showed up to talk to police, 2 dancers Conius had been involved with, including one who was with him the night police arrested him. Shawana Flowers is friends with that woman.
No, it's a one-night stand. He paid her.
He paid her, okay.
Yeah.
Flowers told me police also wanted to know about another dancer they've been unable to find, who stole more than $30,000 from Conius. Summer was the only one that stole money.
Yeah, broke in his room and took his money.
$30,000.
Yeah.
And nobody knows where she is.
Nope.
So far, police recovered about $1.4 of the $2.3 million. They found some inside the room Conius rented and a nearby storage facility. After 2.5 hours, police left the home empty-handed, and they had little to say. You can't give us any clues as to what you guys were after here?
No, I'm sorry. Just call Pittsburgh, and we're letting them know what's going on.
My law enforcement sources tell me police got several search warrants today, but investigators right now won't say where they went. I've also learned that a team of investigators from Pittsburgh is in the Miami area, tracking down leads there. In Pompano Beach, Florida, Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
At Channel 11 News, we know the cops, the feds, and the people who will have answers. We know the politicians, and they know us. We're your watchdog, exposing fraud, following the money, and covering breaking news whenever and wherever it happens. We get to the heart of the biggest stories, so you're more informed. We're Channel 11 News. News coverage you can count on.
The big story tonight, the winter storm. The snow still falling lightly. How much more we'll see and when it will finally shut off.
Plus, the dangerous conditions on the roads. We're tracking the accidents and the trouble spots.
And we're asking road crews why they couldn't keep up.
Dumped on us fast and hard.
It's all part of our live severe weather Team 11 coverage.
Channel 11 News at 5 starts right now.
Live, local, link-breaking. Channel 11 News starts with severe weather coverage.
Good evening, everyone. Western Pennsylvania in a grip of a winter storm. This is a live look from our crew in Butler County as the snow just keeps coming down. Our traffic tracker is out in Allegheny County monitoring sometimes dangerous road conditions out there. And in the Pittsburgh area, the parkways are still seeing plenty of slow-going traffic. We have a number of closings to tell you about. Look at the bottom of your screen for all of the new, faster closing systems that show you exactly what's going on.
And you know, several people know firsthand just how bad it is out there. Some people having to work today had trouble getting in, and it's not over yet. We have live severe weather Team 11 coverage for you tonight, starting with Chief Meteorologist Stephen Cropper. Stephen?
Hey, Vince Dariant, this started in earnest really about 9 o'clock this morning, falling fast and furious at times, and then we had a little bit of a break. And as you take a look at the latest Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar, you can see that break's now filling back in. Butler down to Pittsburgh, a slight break, but back to the west, more snow showers beginning to fill back in from about Washington County northward. This system's kind of been coming in phases. The first round producing that steadier rainfall this morning, spreading northward. Now we're looking at the back edge of of the system moving across Ohio through Columbus. This will rotate through overnight tonight and through the evening and overnight. And so we will get a little more in the way of some light snow and maybe a little wintry mix. But overall, the bulk of the storm is beginning to wind down.
Well, we found slow traffic and accidents all over the region. A section of the Parkway West was shut down earlier today because a tractor trailer jackknifed in the outbound lanes on Green Tree Hill. I-70 westbound was closed in Buffalo Township, Washington County because of a jackknifed truck. Our photographer had a tough time getting to that scene because of the slow-moving traffic. No one was hurt in the crash. And that same crew found another tractor trailer overturned along I-70 East near exit 6. All lanes were blocked in that area.
Tonight on 11 at 11, Superstorm Sandy. It's bringing down trees and power lines across the area.
The tree hit the ground and pulled the wires out.
Plus, big problems in the Big Apple. Part of an apartment collapses and a construction crane dangles from a high-rise in Manhattan.
Heavy rains and high winds overnight, plus a flood warning still in effect. I'll go hour by hour on Storm Tracker to show you what to expect.
And it's snow that's causing big problems in parts of West Virginia. We'll take you to one of the hardest hit areas, all part of severe Weather Team 11 coverage.
Live, local, late breaking. Channel 11 News 11 at 11 starts with severe weather coverage.
Superstorm Sandy bringing strong winds and rain to the area right now. Live look from the Mon War. Flood warning in effect tonight there. This area closed to drivers tomorrow.
And now to New York City. A live look as construction crane dangles from a high-rise in mid-Manhattan. It collapsed in the high winds and 900 people in a nearby hotel had to be evacuated because of the potential danger. There is a lot going on right now, so you are in the right place.
Storm expected to get worse as the rain continues. In fact, there are a number of school closings rolling across the bottom of your screen. Here now is the very latest on Sandy tonight. The storm made landfall along the New Jersey coast near Atlantic City around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Storm's already knocked out power to 1.5 million customers. Many more are expected. And the snow, the big story in West Virginia. Look at that. Some parts of the state could see 3 feet. That's 3 feet, not 3 inches. One traffic crash killed a woman is being blamed on Sandy. We have our reporters stationed everywhere from here in Pittsburgh to New Jersey, West Virginia. We have all the angles of this historic storm covered. We begin, though, with our chief meteorologist, Stephen Cropper, in Severe Weather Center 11. Stephen.
Hey, David Darieth, record-breaking and historic. This storm expands about 1,000 miles from the East Coast into the mainland and the Midwest. We're watching the spiraling bands of rain continuing to move through parts of western Pennsylvania, and in particular, the darker green, the reds and yellows, putting down very heavy rainfall and now mixing with some snow around Latrobe and in the higher elevations, some accumulating snow. Let me show you the latest on Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar network, and straight in you can see that bright banding of red and yellow, that representative of some higher elevation snow, which is mixing in with rainfall. As I mentioned, Latrobe getting some light snow, as well as the areas around Seven Springs. Dick Barron saying up to 7 inches of snow at last check there, and even more as you travel to the south. Flood warning is in effect. This is the highest level of alert. Streets, creeks, and streams. If you live near a creek or a stream and it normally is flood prone, heed that warning as you travel out the door early tomorrow morning, especially before daybreak. Water rising, reports of some high water in many areas, and with the leaves on the ground and some of the drains clogged, the streets will be clogged as well with water. Steady to gusty winds overnight tonight, still with gusts at the 35-40 mile per hour range. Had a report up around 48 miles an hour in Westmoreland County. And then there is the snow. The blizzard warning continues for Preston County in West Virginia, Garrett County in Maryland as well. So a lot to talk about tonight. Coming up in the full forecast in less than 10 minutes, I'll walk you hour by hour through the latest data that shows the rainfall forecast and when the storm will finally move out. We'll see you then.
All right, Stephen, thanks. Well, parts of Westmoreland County dealing with high water. In the past few minutes, we sent a crew to Brigade Lane in Ligonier. We've confirmed crews ordered people out of their homes there due to the flooding. Emergency crews are working overtime to make sure everyone stays safe. Channel 11's Brandon Hudson continues our big story coverage now from Greensburg.
We are
here just north of Greensburg here at the Crabtree Volunteer Fire Department. It's one of the fire departments that's here on standby waiting for anything to happen this evening. I talked to firefighters. They tell me that they are keeping an eye on the utility poles and the branches from trees that may fall in the roadways. Right now we are dealing with a steady rainfall and some strong winds. Just to give you an idea of how strong these winds are, take a look at that flag off in the distance. You can see it's being carried by the wind.
Rain pretty much non-stop throughout the night and some gusty winds out here downtown. The Mont Wharf is going to be closed tomorrow. They've already announced that. And here is the reason why. The Mont River is almost to 17 feet already. It floods this area at 18 feet and is going to go much higher. It's expected to get up to more than 23 feet come Wednesday.
The storm made landfall around 8 tonight in southern New Jersey. That area was hit hard by the storm. Our Julie Fine traveled to Atlantic City, where it's usually a place that looks more like a ghost town tonight.
This is downtown Atlantic City. Way back there is the convention center. You can barely see that. That's where many police and firefighters are right now. You can see the sidewalks essentially gone here in downtown.
We wanted to give you the full scope of the storm. You got the rain, the wind, the flooding in Pittsburgh right now and the surrounding area. You saw what was going along the East Coast. This is Snowshoe, West Virginia, a full-scale blizzard. Already about 10 inches of snow has fallen. When we left today, we got rain in the valleys. Even just about a half hour from here, it was still rain. The snow started to pick up as we came up in elevation. Then we got the Snowshoe. Wind was already gusting to 30 miles per hour. Right now, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, about 10 inches of snow on the ground. All said and done by Wednesday morning, 2 to 3 feet.
Securing the State House with not one, not two, but 3 separate security forces, and your tax dollars are paying for it. When we saw millions spent for 3 departments doing the same thing, we got Target 11 on the case.
Investigator Rick Earl traveled to Harrisburg to answer the question, is this why we're broke, Rick?
Yeah, David, Peggy, both the House and Senate have their own security forces. And then there's the Capitol Police, 3 separate forces under one roof. Some lawmakers say it actually saves money. Critics say it's a waste of your tax dollars. Check. State Capitol Police patrol the Capitol in Harrisburg and guard the entrances. But Capitol Police aren't the only ones watching this building. Both the House and Senate also have their own security forces. But unlike Capitol Police, they don't have arrest powers and don't carry weapons.
It's really a symptom of what's wrong in Harrisburg, overkill.
Capitol Police have 92 officers and also patrol the state office buildings in Harrisburg, Philadelphia, and Scranton. The cost, more than $10 million a year. The House has 25 security guards at a cost of $1.5 million. There are 15 Senate security guards costing more than $900,000. Seems every time you go through the toll booth, you have to dig a little deeper into your wallet. But we discovered nearly 8,000 people have free passes to ride the turnpike. So we wanted to know who they are and why they don't have to pay. From Pittsburgh to Philadelphia on the turnpike will cost you $29.65. But more than 2,000 turnpike employees get to ride free, even when they're not on duty.
No, that's not right at all. We have to pay, so why shouldn't they?
I guess I don't see that much different than any perk that might be given to an employee.
I worked for the post office 41 years and we didn't get nothing special.
It's a perk that has cost taxpayers millions since it first went into effect back in the 1940s. What's an affordable monthly car payment for you? $300 to $400? What about $1,500? That's how much we found one city shelling out every month for just one vehicle. It's not a Mercedes, which we found for $589 a month, not even a Jaguar for $728. We're talking about a Dodge Grand Caravan. Pittsburgh's Parks and Rec Department rents 6 minivans every summer to transport lifeguards and pool supplies at a cost of nearly $1,500 a month per van for a whopping total of $36,000. County Executive Rich Fitzgerald makes $90,000, Mayor Luke Ravenstahl $105,000, and Governor Tom Corbett $174,000. But the man in charge of promoting Pittsburgh earned more than all of them. Visit Pittsburgh's Joe McGrath made more than $353,000 last year.
We're talking about radon. It is a colorless, odorless, radioactive gas.
Target 11 consumer investigator Robin Taylor discovered the problem is far worse than most of us realize. Robin?
Well, I found out all of the counties surrounding Pittsburgh have average radon ratings that are above the EPA guideline of 4. So we decided to test 20 homes in the area. An alarming number of the radon tests came back high. 11 homes in Allegheny, Armstrong, Westmoreland, Washington, Beaver, and Butler counties all tested in the danger zone, and one in Beaver County tested the highest. So we talked to homeowners who had extremely high levels and learned what can be done. Kathy and Russ Glens raised their daughter in this Brighton Township home. Little did they know they were exposed to dangerous levels of radon the whole time. They had the highest reading in our test of 16.7, 4 times the EPA guideline.
Just the fact that this long-term exposure has occurred, and we've both smoked off and on for years, unfortunately, so that doubles the risk.
Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer. It kills about 800 Pennsylvanians each year. 77-year-old Shirley McCoy moved to Texas earlier this year to be closer to her family. She'd lived in this house in Canonsburg for 42 years and decided to auction off her things. Patterson's auction service was to sell her car and household furniture and keep 15%.
They overstepped their bounds and they just ran roughshod over her.
The Pattersons were trusted friends, but that friendship quickly soured when the case ended up in court. We're here to do a story on it.
I don't want a story.
At Channel 11 Morning News, we make sure you're prepared for the day ahead.
Dressed for changing weather.
Ready to navigate traffic backups.
Informed about what happened while you were sleeping.
If you've been caught in the rain, stuck in traffic, in the dark about what's going on.
Maybe you're watching the wrong morning news.
Channel 11 Morning News from 4:30 until 7 a.m. News, weather, and traffic coverage you can count on. Now, a Channel 11 special. Pittsburgh goes for the gold. They've dreamed of this moment.
I have been dreaming about going to the Olympics since I was 3.
Trained for it since they were kids.
It's what I sacrificed for.
Through the tears, through the triumph.
Even if you have epilepsy, it doesn't mean that you need to resign.
Now, they have one mission, one golden goal.
I can picture myself on the podium. We're looking to medal. That's our goal.
I hate that silver medal.
Not gonna be satisfied going to medal.
The entire world is watching as Pittsburgh goes for the gold.
We're less than 30 minutes away from the opening ceremonies of the Olympics.
For the next 2 weeks, we will be watching the world's elite athletes compete in London, and Western Pennsylvania will be well represented. There are 11 Olympians or alternates with ties to Pittsburgh. They represent divers, wrestlers, runners, and so much more. And they are the best in the USA, now trying to be the best in the world.
Are you kidding me? Explosive. Score! Magical.
Curry does it again.
Combination, adversity.
Relentless.
Tenacious.
Fantastic. They're having a monumental season.
Passionate.
How's that for a statement? Spins around. Scores!
Dynamic.
You don't win hockey games if you don't play with heart. Hawkins fires.
Consol Energy Center is primed for another chapter of the Penguins, set to host cross-state rival Philadelphia with a lot at stake in the Eastern Conference.
The fans are ready for hockey. We're 30 minutes away from the Penguins getting ready to take on the Flyers.
Both teams are on the ice, and it's another sellout. Stay where you are. You have the best seat in the house for the Flyers and Penguins on Channel 11. Good afternoon and welcome to the Consol Energy Center. I'm Albie Oxenrider, and the Pens playoff push is in full swing.
I'm Bill Phillips. We'll also be joined by Rich Walsh and Phil Bork in just a few moments. But first, the latest on Penguins defenseman Chris Letang. About an hour or so ago, I spoke with head coach Dan Bilesma, and Bilesma told me that he will be a game-time decision. After he skates this morning in warm-ups, he'll talk about it and see how he feels after he's worked out for the past few days as they get ready to take on the Flyers. So Coach Bilesma was thrilled with the way his team played in Buffalo the other night.
I liked the Buffalo game a lot. That was a hard-fought, contested game by a Buffalo team that's playing really well. That was a great test for our team, a great win for our team, and we're going to see 4 more games very similar to that coming up here starting today.
Thanks, Sam.
And Albie, the Penguins defense has to tighten up a little bit, especially against a team like Philadelphia.
All right, the energy is building here. Now let's send it back to the studio and Channel 11's Rich Walsh. Hi, Rich. He has made some big plays.
He sure has. Perhaps the biggest came in a win over Cincinnati. Woodley made an interception that not only turned the game around, but perhaps the season.
We haven't been playing good in the fourth quarter. We've been giving up leads in the fourth quarter and losing the football game. And I think we came out in that Cincinnati game. We came out and we played hard in the fourth quarter. And ever since then, we've been going out there as a defense, closing the game in the fourth quarter instead of giving up the lead and losing the game.
Any more pressure on the defense this week because Ben's not there? Because maybe points might be at a premium for the offense, Byron making his first start?
Speaking for myself, I don't think so, because we're going to go out there, and as a defense, we always expected to play hard.
Albie, as you mentioned, Lamar is involved in his charity work. Tuesday, he will head home to Saginaw, Michigan to hand out Thanksgiving gift baskets to 500 families. It's Woodley's 5th annual Thanksgiving giveaway in his hometown.
I loved what he said about Ray Lewis, because there's so much talk about the hate in this rivalry. There's a great deal of respect, and you heard it from Lamar Woodley and how he looks up to Ray Lewis in that way. The 6-3 Steelers host the 7-2 Ravens in a primetime game right here on Channel 11. The Great Hall is filling up, and on the field, the players are warming up.
From the Channel 11 studio, the Heinz Ward Show, sponsored by C. Harper. The best price every time, all the time.
Good evening and welcome to the Heinz Ward Show. I'm Albie Oxenrider with the legend who now owns the belt, the co-champion of Beat the Bus. It's Heinz Ward. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. You know, Bill and I, we tied for first, so we're co-champions. But very disappointed in Jerome Bettis. How do you finish dead last when you played football for so many years? And to finish dead last in your own competition, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I think it's all by design. He wants to create a little bit of this, what's happening right here.
Well, I'm going to take the belt home, and it says beat the bus. So next time we go golfing, I'm going to bring this to the golf course.
Thanks for not mentioning that I've never won Beat the Bus.
No, I'm not going to do that to you.
Well, thank you for that, and congratulations on your
thank you.
co-championship. We're going to start with the 86, 8 topics in 6 minutes. You're on the clock, and here we go, 8-8. It's been that type of season for the Steelers. What's the biggest thing the Steelers have to fix this coming offseason, if there's one?
Well, I think for the offense, it has to be the offensive line, just at the fact that it starts up front with those guys. In order to get the running game solidified, it starts up front. And to have injuries and to go through the depth chart and moving guys around, it's hard to get that cohesiveness as a unit together if you're not healthy. And I think for Ben Roethlisberger, to be able to protect him and get the passing game going, you can't afford for him to be running around for his life and trying to create plays. So to me, it starts up front. They got to solidify the offensive line.
Well, and sometimes you get into these situations, you have a down year, as the Steelers did, and there are a long list of things that they have to address in order to maybe get back there.
Yeah, when you finish the season 8-8, there's always going to be change because, you know, expectations are high in the city of Pittsburgh, and when Pittsburgh Steelers are not in the playoffs, you got to have change. You got to have change, and there's going to be some players that are coming and going off this roster.
The Jerome Bettis Show, sponsored by S&T Bank.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Jerome Bettis Show. I'm Bill Phillips, along with the bus. Jerome, I have to ask, how was Thanksgiving?
It was great. The food was magnificent.
It always
is. The football was good, and I got some rest, so it was a great day all in all.
That's not a bad thing at all. It's time to talk football, and the Steelers have an important game against the Cleveland Browns. Rich Walsh breaks them down in this week's scouting report.
You might look at the Browns, their history, their 2-8 record, and think this should be an easy game for the Steelers. Well, think again. They've only lost one game by more than 10 points, and that was to the Giants. They had another close battle this week, pushing the Cowboys to overtime before losing in Dallas. Trent Richardson is their workhorse and their biggest threat. Not only is he their leading rusher, he's their leading receiver. He's got 6 touchdowns on the season. Brandon Weeden has been holding his own as a rookie quarterback, but you know how the Steelers like to treat rookie quarterbacks. The biggest threat the Browns pose on defense is on the quarterback. They have 27 sacks, 6th in the league, including 7 last week on the Cowboys. And don't forget, Josh Cribbs He's burned the Steelers a lot on kick returns and probably liked what he saw with the Ravens' touchdown return last week. The Steelers and Browns kick off in Cleveland at 1 o'clock tomorrow. With the scouting report for the Jerome Bettis Show, I'm Rich Walsh.
Rich, thank you very much. A lot of stories this week. One of the most eventful at Steelers headquarters in quite some time. The Steelers will start their third different quarterback in 3 weeks with Charlie Batch.
You know, I'm looking at this opportunity as a way for me to be excited about it, for one, and help in any way that I can to help this team get a win, because that's what we need.
All right, Jerome, we just heard about the Browns getting pressure on the quarterback against Dallas. What do they do to protect him against Cleveland, a team coming off a 7-sack performance?
Well, I think it's going to be difficult to change your offense or the personnel of that offense in terms of not allowing that defensive line that Cleveland has to get to the quarterback. So I think what you have to do is you've got to change some of the plays in that offense. You've got to get the ball out of his hands quickly. I think if you look at Charlie, you know, he can throw the football down the football field, but he's not that mobile. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, you need to get the football out of his hands pretty quickly.
All right, Byron Leftwich gave a brave effort against the Ravens, but he suffered a shoulder injury and broken ribs. Should Byron Leftwich have come out of the game last Sunday, Jerome?
Well, if he was unable to go, you know, I think during the course of the game, he was a little beat up, but he felt good enough to play. And if you feel good enough to play, then you play. If you can't go out there and compete, you can't throw the football, then you don't throw the football. I think in retrospect, he probably would have pulled himself out of the game in a different scenario had it happened again. So it's one of those, should he have, should he not have? I think if you can play, you play. If you can't play, you pull yourself out.
High school football season kicks off early with Skylights Media Days. Look for coverage July 11th and 12th on Channel 11 News and on WPXI.com.
Stadium lights come up and the ball is hyped. We've got our game face on, cause now it's Friday night. Now put your hands up and scream. PXI's on the scene. We got highlights on skylights, yeah, all that you need. Cause Fedco's back in action packed. We put our team on full attack. From the band of the week to the fans on their feet. Come on, everybody, turn up. It's Friday night. Pittsburgh, it's on tonight. Our school is impressive. We be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. It's Friday night. Pittsburgh, it's on tonight. Yeah, it's Skylights on WPXI.
Now, it's time for John Fedco's Skylights, sponsored by Eaton Park.
Good evening, everybody. I'm John Fedco. Welcome to Skylights, the WPIAL quarterfinals tonight. We had our cameras everywhere. Let's go. Neutral sites tonight, and we're going to start in Norwin. Woodland Hills versus Gateway. First quarter, Woody High's freshman sensation, Miles Sanders. And I can see for Miles and Miles. Miles Sanders scores 7-0 Woody High. Gateway's Thomas Woodson to Delvon Randall to the 38-yard line. Will set up Thomas Woodson to Monte Nicholson. Watch the flip. Game tied 7-all. Second quarter, Woody High's commander, Cody McClellan, pumps, then goes to Tom Green to the 1-yard line. Miles Sanders punches it in. Woody High leads 17-7. Gateway comes back. Thomas Woodson to Delvon Randall. Then it's Woodson to Delvon Randall for a touchdown. And Gateway trails by 3. Fourth quarter, Gateway down by 3. Gateway going for it on fourth down. Woody High says no. And Woodland Hills wins 17-14. We go to Martirelli Stadium. North Allegheny versus Bethel Park. The great Bobby Bizzuto has created a dynasty in North Allegheny. Vice Carter. NA's Mac Leftwich. He can throw and he can run. A la Roger Staubach circa 1971. sets up Leftwich to Brendan Conacher, and it's 7-0 North Allegheny. Still in the first, Alex DeShantis powers in behind that huge offensive line. 14-0 North Allegheny. The North Allegheny defense, inspired by the great Father Zewan at St. Alexis, was dominant. BP could not go anywhere. And I've told you about the NA special teams. Watch the block punt and watch Elijah Scoop Zeiss, the son of the legendary Scribe. Scoop Zeiss scoops it up. This just in. Scoop Zeiss scores. 21-0 North Allegheny. Mac Leftwich then goes to one of the Whipple's leading receivers, Greg Garrity, for the touchdown. North Allegheny rolls. 42-14. To the South Hills we go. Central Catholic versus Upper St. Clair. First quarter, USC's all-everything quarterback. He can run, he can throw, and he can run. Pete Coughlin, looking like Sir Francis Tarkenton, scrambling, going to Mac Pope. What a catch by Pope. Sets up Ben Stallnaker, the kicking sensation at USC. It's good. 3-0 Upper St. Clair. Then Pete Coughlin takes it himself. He's been a great scrambler all season. Look at the moves. 10-0 Upper St. Clair. Second quarter, USC's Mac Pope will get into the end zone for a 17-0 USC lead. That quarter, USC's Pete Coughlin going to Johnny Rutkowski. Johnny Rutkowski. Yeah, what a catch by Johnny Rutkowski. Upper St. Clair wins 38-0.
Channel 11 News is coverage you can count on.
WPXI TV and Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank have teamed up to raise awareness about hunger. Tune in to Channel 11 today from 4 to 8 for the Food Bank's annual telethon. Learn more about hunger in our area and what you can do for your neighbors. The Food Bank needs your help. Join us for the telethon later today or go to WPXI.com and click on the Food Bank logo.
Thousands fill the streets of downtown Pittsburgh. One of the city's best-loved holiday spectaculars is ready to begin.
Today's parade is filled with fabulous floats, beautiful balloons, spectacular marching bands, and performances from top stars of the past, present, and future.
And it's all set to march your way as WPXI presents the My Macy's Holiday Parade. Starring from NBC's America's Got Talent, Season 1 winner, Bianca Ryan.
70s hit group, chairman of the board.
Pittsburgh singing star, B.E. Taylor.
Steelers Hall of Famer Franco Harris, plus Kermit the Frog, high school bands, and much more.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to get this year's parade off to a soulful start, it's the winner of Season 1 of America's Got Talent, recording artist Bianca Ryan.
Hello and welcome to beautiful downtown Pittsburgh where the snow is falling gently. We are on 5th Avenue right in front of Macy's, ready to bring you the 32nd annual. Can you believe now 32 years of this fabulous parade, the My Macy's Holiday Parade.
Great to be with you as always on this snowy day. You have something for us too.
How about this? Cue the snow. We can actually make some small snowballs today. All right, from Saxonburg, the Knock High School Marching Band proudly wearing their blue, gold, and white uniforms. The Knock Knights have been an annual participant in this parade since 1979. That's quite a streak. Let's see what they've got.
They're performing a medley of holiday songs today. 70 musical members of the marching band and 50 other members marching today.
And as always, Peggy, we've got a huge crowd, and when we got here around 8 o'clock, they were already about 5 deep, and crowd's only gotten bigger since. And we always say this, no matter what the weather, Pittsburgh shows up for a parade as Knox starts to move past our parade position here.
Well, for so many people, David, this is a family tradition. They bring everybody down, aunts, uncles.
Your family and mine, by the way. We have some
Yes,
folks here
we do.
in the crowd. Once again from Saxonburg, that is the Knox High School Band, the honor of being the first band in our parade, and the honor of our first cat in the parade.
Our first balloon, the big balloons, love those. It's America's favorite lasagna eating cat, Garfield, sassy feline, floating down Fifth Avenue, 20 feet high.
This cantankerous cat likes torturing his owners, you know, John, and his dog nemesis, the lovable but not so bright Odie.
Do you have room in your heart for a nursing home patient this Christmas season?
Presence for Patients is seeking individuals, businesses, and groups to adopt patients in nursing homes, assisted living, and personal care homes.
All you need to do is sign up to visit a patient near you, buy a gift the patient requests, and personally deliver it. Your visit is the real present.
To adopt a patient or make a donation, call 724-443-0011 or visit presenceforpatients.com.
Come in. Oh, who are these wonderful visitors?
Last year, Morgan and I had the opportunity to join some of the folks here at St. Barnabas to actually fulfill some of the wish lists of the patients.
Presence for Patients succeeds based on the generosity of people ranging from one person to an entire group.
To participate in the Presence for Patients holiday campaign, call 724-443-0011.
Presence for Patients in its 29th season, again, passed its goal, another record year. Presence for Patients raised gifts and the Christmas spirit in 6 states, in 357 locations for 30,829 men, women, and children.
Finding a job isn't easy these days, and finding a good job is even tougher. But there's good news. Jobs are available right here in our area. Good jobs. If you need one or you're looking for a career with a future, then don't go anywhere, because we've got your answer. Hit it, boys.
Take this job and love it. Opportunities knocking on the door. We've got the jobs that'll give you the freedom you've been looking for. You better not try to stand in the way of good jobs along with good pay. Take this job and love it. Your future starts today. Take this job and love it. Your future starts today.
As we told you earlier in the show, all of our fabulous 14 jobs of the future are part of our growing energy employment sector. Our region is taking the lead in 7 different areas of energy production. And during the show, we're going to give you a bit of insight into each of those 7. So, Let's focus on the first of those energy subsectors, the one everybody talks about these days, natural gas.
Focus on natural gas. Our area is no stranger to natural gas production. The first commercial gas well, the Haymaker well, was drilled in Murraysville back in 1878. With the development of the Marcellus Shale Play, Pennsylvania has become a major player in the gas production business. The state currently ranks second in the U.S. in number of producing gas wells. Plentiful natural gas has created any number of ancillary jobs here in a wide variety of industries, from pipeline construction to truck sales. It will also encourage other types of companies to open new facilities here. For example, natural gas is an important feeder stock in the production of plastics, so several local companies like Bayer, Lanxess, and Nova Chemicals could greatly expand their operations in our region in the near future, all thanks to our abundant natural gas supply.
Let's keep this job train rolling, all right? I'm here in the edit booth where all of the profile pieces for the show are being put together. Next up on our Fabulous 14 is a job you might not have heard of before, petroleum engineer. But how about this for an in-depth career? That's Tracy, who you see behind me on the big screen. And every single person from Tracy's graduating class was offered a job the moment they graduated. Every single one. Let's find out more about what Tracy does for a living.
I'm a drilling engineer. I design drilling, like this drilling rig behind me is going. I give directions to this rig.
And that's an awesome responsibility. With millions of dollars in natural gas on the line, Tracy Juarez's success is measured by how much gas her wells produce. Finding the best places to direct her crew to drill can be a tricky business. Based on feedback coming from more than a mile underground, Tracy can fine-tune the path of drilling to get to the best rock.
We'll call the rig and we'll give them specific instructions for how to get to where the geologists are saying the best rock is. I've heard the statistic that each year the U.S. graduates 300 petroleum engineers and about 30,000 lawyers, so it is a very small industry. The class that I graduated with had about 76 petroleum engineers, and as far as I know, we all were offered jobs either with service companies or operating companies with fairly high salaries.
Petroleum engineers get to use math and science principles, but they aren't stuck behind a desk all day long. That's part of the appeal of the job. Tracy says another thing that makes the job rewarding is getting to see the results of your work quickly.
That looks great. Once I was out of the Army, I heard the Kansas City Monarchs of the Negro Leagues of Baseball were holding tryouts. I tried out and became the Monarchs starting shortstop. In the Negro Leagues, we had a wealth of talent. We had a pitcher on our team by the name of Satchel Paige. Satch played in baseball until he was 61 years old. He pitched in over 2,500 games. I also played against Josh Gibson, a power hitter who played for the Pittsburgh Crawfords and the Homestead Grays. Josh hit 972 home runs, more than Babe Ruth. Life in the Negro Leagues, it was tough. Sometimes we'd ride on a bus for days at a time with no hot food or a bed to sleep in.
Don't miss your chance to make a difference for the 68 local health and human service agencies in the High Mark Walk for a Healthy Community. To register for the 5K walk or the 1 mile fun walk, visit walkforahealthycommunity.org. 100% of all the money raised goes directly to the local nonprofit organization of your choice. So bring the kids, bring the dogs, and join your friends and neighbors Saturday, May 18th at Stage AE on the North Shore, and step up to make a difference.
If you want to know where everyone goes for high school shows, it's WPXI.com, where you are. One click away from the action on stage. Photos and videos, schedules and interviews. All you got to do is log on to WPXI.
Sometimes all we need is a little reminder.
And that is exactly what these thumb bands are intended for, a reminder to text later.
Because not only is it illegal, but texting while driving can also be deadly.
Find out how to get your thumb band at WPXI.com.
Channel 11 News, winner of 5 Emmy Awards, including Best Evening Newscast, Best Morning Newscast, Teen Coverage, and the prestigious award for Station Excellence. Channel 11 News is coverage you can count on.